G'day guys, how you going? I'm recording this around about 4 o'clock on Friday, nearly 24 hours after the game, but I'm probably not going to upload this video until Saturday morning because it takes a bit of time. It takes a bit of time to upload, and I don't have that time. And maybe I'll feel a little bit different in the morning. I'm not going to redo it though. I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to, just tell you how I'm feeling right now. I'd like to know how you're feeling. I know the season's not finished really, because we know we've been waiting for this time now. Well, we've been waiting for it for a period of, probably 8-9 weeks. We've been, just waiting and waiting for this season to finish. So we are anticipating now what lays ahead. But now that the season, the home and away season's finished, from a playing point of view, how are you feeling? How are you really feeling? Be as honest as you like. And I'm not going to put words into your mouth. I'll just tell you how I'm feeling. And I'll try and explain it to the best of my ability. I'm feeling really sad, actually. Sad. But it's an unusual sad because I'm still functioning fine, like it's not necessarily affecting me. But footy obviously is a big part of your life, and I wouldn't be doing this for so long if it wasn't. And emotions can fluctuate. And I kind of wanted to explore the sadness. And I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm sad because I feel, I don't know if guilt's the right word. But I feel sad that I haven't been able to empathise more and believe more. Empathise more and believe more. And I feel a bit sad that I've kind of pushed an agenda so hard. I saw some things last night, and I kind of felt this before the game as well, because I knew we were going to put in a spirited performance last night. I just knew it. I knew it. I didn't doubt it for 1 minute. Did not doubt it for 1 minute. And I'm not saying that was a terrific football performance. Like, it was a state league game, really. But not for 1 second over the last couple of weeks have I even doubted, really deep down inside, without really expressing it, I've doubted that this group wasn't going to come out and finish the year strongly. And there was and I hate myself for it, there was a part of me that didn't want them to do it. was a part of me that didn't want them to do it. Because there's a better story. Well, not a story, but there's more drama in it. There's more drama in it if the shit really does hit the fan. And once they announced that Vossi would continue on as coach, it would have been, there ain't been a lot of supporters, including myself, that deep down would have gone, oh, what a shit decision that is. Let's fucking see how they get beat by this mob, and let's see how they get beat by this mob. Yeah, okay, yeah, and in fact, then we could go, we told you so. So I kept driving this kind of agenda and picking on things that Voss was saying and kind of doubting that the players... And I knew we would, and Essendon crap, like they're crap, and that's no disrespect to them, because I actually thought they had the best two youngsters on the ground last night, and Isaac Kako and Angus Clark. God, they're two impressive young players. In fact, they've got a lot of impressive young players, but they're decimated. But they're in all sorts of trouble in regards to injuries, and we are as well. Like we've got... But I just knew we would bring the energy and the spirit. I just knew it. And I did want to admit that it's not cool to admit that something has changed. Something has changed. Or has it always been there? Has it always been there? And that's why Michael Voss was essentially given an opportunity to at least finish out his contract. Because it's not cool. And when I saw Patrick Cripps after the game, he spoke to Fox Footy, and then he let TDK speak, and he waited for him. And it's only a small gesture, and it's kind of powerful, these humans, like these human beings, you know, like... And walking from the ground with him and arm around him, knowing full too well that he's not going to be at the football club this next year, and just the care. And Frankie Evans, who could have blamed him with 40 seconds left on the clock, to kick his fourth goal, you know. Twice in 3 weeks, he's kicked 4. And for him, that's a gettable shot. He's a clinical finisher. But nah, he saw TDK, he won't be at the football club in 2026. Well, we assume he won't be. He said, no, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you, this being your last game and your 100th game, and something to savour. He missed it. He missed it, by the way, but just... something's changed. And I've been fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. And this doesn't say that I just don't think the quality's on the list. I really don't. I'm talking about the quality of footballer, not the quality of person. Let's not get those two things mixed up here. This list still needs a lot of work. But I could not be more prouder of this football club. And I've been picking and picking and picking and picking and picking and picking to have an agenda, hoping that agenda comes true. Okay, hoping it comes true so I can look like this fucking hero. But the real lack of empathy to try and put yourself into the shoes of these players and these coaches and what's happening at the football club. And it's difficult because we're not there. We haven't played the game. We haven't coached the game. Well, when I say haven't played the game, I haven't played the game at that level, coached the game at that level, that type of stuff. I think you know what I mean there. But I reckon I'm more prouder of this club, believe it or not, now than I was when we stormed into the 2023 final series and won 2 finals and were 5 goals up in a prelim and nearly made the 2023 grand final. In fact, I feel closer to the club now than I did then, and I feel like we're in a better, stronger position now. Believe it or not, and this isn't about the list at the moment. This is about the foundations. The foundations. And we talk about culture. We talk about it. We talk about culture all the time. And what that is. What that is. And what this club has been able to do over the last 5 to 6 weeks, it's not extraordinary. It's not extraordinary. It's just what good football clubs do. It's what good, strong football clubs do, which have good leadership, steady heads, and generally good people. And right now I feel like we've got good people, which will help build the foundation, but maybe not the right quality in regards to assistant coaches and players as well. I hope that explains it. I'm going to finish off with this, because now that I've sort of opened up a little bit there, I'm going to put this tweet up I put on X or Twitter. This is from July the 5th. And you know I'm an avid Frankie Evans fan. I mean, it wasn't always the case. And I think what I do try and do, and I don't do this as well as I should, I do try and educate myself. I really do. And I think by educating yourself, you are able to show a little bit more empathy and understanding about the game. And when the shit kind of hit the fan mid-season, where it looked like, yeah, well, it kind of was like that for a large part of the season, but it may have been, I think, after the Collingwood loss, I was really disillusioned with the current team. And I made a decision, and at this stage, Frankie, and I'll put the tweet up there for you guys to see it, I made the decision to go and watch the VFL. They were playing Southport on a Saturday night at Icon Park. And I wanted to go and try and connect with the club because we had access to the VFL at Icon Park. But I also wanted to go see what was bubbling on in the background in regards to our younger players who could come up, get opportunities. And the last player I really probably was going to focus on was Frankie Evans, because he'd already had 2 or 3 games. He'd come in, been dropped, come back in, be dropped. So I think he was dropped 3 times, okay, in the opening 8 games of the season, and hadn't set the world on fire. And yeah, he just couldn't get near it. Although I think it was in the Sydney game, he was a little bit unlucky. He showed a few signs in the Sydney loss at the SCG. But he was the last person I was going to the VFL to watch. I was going to watch Billy Wilson. I was going to watch the Camperelli twins. I wanted to watch Lemmy. I wanted to watch Ashton Moyer. I wasn't there going to watch Frankie Evans. But on that night against Southport, and this wasn't the game I'm referring to in this tweet, I looked at Frankie Evans that night, and this is after he'd been dropped, and I thought, fuck, this guy's got some character. You know, like he's been dropped 3 times already this year, and he's gone back to the VFL, and fuck, he's having a dip. Like, he's having an absolute dip. They gave him some midfield minutes. He's getting his hands on the footy. He kicked a goal. There was nothing outstanding. So I started following the VFL, you know, like quite intently for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And each week, he was the one who was standing out to me in every game. It was Frankie Evans. He was he was just doing some things in the VFL that we lacked in the senior team. And then I went to Port Melbourne on a Saturday night when our VFL team played the Borough, and he put together, and this is when I put the tweet up on July the 3rd, which is 8 weeks ago, guys, 8 weeks ago. And this is when there was a groundswell of like vitriol against the poor guy. But he put together, I reckon, the best performance in that game by an AFL-listed player, Carlton AFL-listed player I've seen in the VFL for some time. And there I said it, he was fucking dynamite. After that game, he had to come back into the seniors. He just had to. He had to come back into the seniors. But soon, and he did. And soon as he was named in the seniors, I've never seen as many disgusting comments about a footballer in my life. And I felt for it. I fucking felt for him. This is a guy who built some really solid form. He'd gone back and built some solid form at VFL level, then built and built and built. And listening to Voss last night, he changed a few parts of his game. And then that night against Port Melbourne, it was Ashton Moyer who everyone was speaking about because it was his breakout game. And Ashton Moyer's performance kind of overshadowed Frankie Evans because no one wanted Frankie Evans back into the team. But he was clearly best on the ground, Frankie. It was an amazing game. An amazing game against pretty good quality opposition in the Port Melbourne Football Club. But I've never seen such vile and disrespectful comments to a player who was deserving of an opportunity to come back in and get another chance. So I felt not obliged, but I wanted to give him some support on the back of how good he was at VFL level. We can't ignore him. And off the back of that, it's one time or a few times that I've educated myself, gone and watched the VFL, closely watched it, and then supported a player back off the education. And I couldn't be more prouder of Frankie Evans. I could not be more prouder of him and what he's been able to do in the final parts of this year. And there's no guarantees. There's no fucking guarantees. He would know that. But that kind of feels sweet. And there is a player there. And I want to feel like that with all the players. I want to feel like that with all the players. But yeah, Frankie. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'll be back. I hope all that made sense. It's only 20 minutes of absolute dribble, I know. I'll be back to talk about potential delistings, changes, how the Coach Talent League season finishes off, all that type of stuff. Some history stuff, old football grounds. I won't be going away, but I'm just going to chill for a few days. Anyway, take care.